Emergency responders evacuate and decontaminate citizens in Oregon, in Arizona, in Guam. There are a lot of citizens who don't even know that there's a crisis, and for responders to help them when they're so out of the loop is tough. VNN's Andy Field explains why.
Even with perfect hearing, this is a Tower of Babel. Imagine what it's like with the sound off. For deaf citizens, silence may be deadly in the rush to leave Phoenix, Portland, and Guam.
Deaf-blind people are at a terrible disadvantage. They're in an awful position. Based on what's going on right now around them, most deaf-blind people may not survive because they don't have access to communication. They are isolated.
Randy Pope and other deaf-blind advocates have urged first responders and disabled citizens to make sure they were ready for this worst-case disaster.
I think he's down. Follow me. Hang on to my arm.
If the person is not being trained and not being prepared ahead of time, it's really going to be too late. Because, again, deaf-blind people are like everybody else. If they're in a crisis situation, a lot of times they not be thinking about all of the things they could be doing. They're thinking, what's going on? How can I find out what's going on? What can I do next?
Non-English speaking evacuees are just as confused during a crisis. The CDC learned that in Katrina and revamped its website so first responders can find and print out emergency information in many languages.
Right now we have information in Spanish, German, Italian.
Emergency providers, those people have access to the web. They're familiar with the information there, and so they can print it and hand it out.
The CDC has also produced public service announcements, giving stations a template to help deaf and blind citizens get real-time emergency information. There are many ways deaf or blind evacuees can communicate, but the TTY, pagers, even emergency captioning don't always work in a crisis.
When people shut down, when everything shut down during 9/11, some of the relay centers, which take TTY calls so that people can talk to people who don't have a TTY, those relay centers were shut down. They were people who worked for the state, and they went home. So now people couldn't talk to anybody except other people with TTYs.
That's changed in some communities since Katrina, but not enough. Disabled advocates urge first responders to have flashcards, learn sign language, and how to handle each disability. The disabled citizen should be ready too.
Extra cane for mobility, paper and pad for communication, extra battery for a cochlear implant or a hearing aid battery.
Even with all this technology, talking one-on-one can be a challenge. Even the decontamination process we're going through right now can separate blind citizens from their guide dogs, can even destroy hearing aids.
For example, my hearing aid has an external part. If they need to decontaminate my glasses, we'll dip it in bleach. If they decontaminate this in bleach, I can't use this anymore. It is no longer working.
The adrenaline-pumped race to help can leave deaf, blind, and non-English speaking citizens in a bind. After Katrina, first responders began changing the way they help everyone. It's not clear if they've done enough to help the people evacuating now. Andy Field, VNN, Washington, D.C.